We're happy to take questions now. If you could just identify yourself. Yes.
Hi, I'm Dave McConnell with WCOP. I wonder if I could ask Congressman McGovern, what's the strategy now? I mean, they're going to have the markup tomorrow. Is there a plan to offer an amendment, fight it on the floor?
Yeah, I think there is a plan to offer an amendment in the markup tomorrow, and if that doesn't fail, I'm on the Rules Committee. I'm going to push for an amendment on the floor. And if that doesn't prevail, we're going to work very closely with the Senate to make sure that this provision doesn't survive. And we're also going to work the administration. I think it is important that the Secretary of Transportation come out clearly on this issue. If this goes through, it poses, as you have heard here today, a very serious threat to the citizens of this country. And it's going to cost us a boatload of money to fix the roads and bridges that are going to have to survive more wear and tear with bigger and heavier trucks. So, you know, I feel confident that we're going to prevail here. But what we're here to tell the leadership of this House is we're raring for a fight here. You know, we're going to fight. This is a serious issue. I have some friends here with the Coalitions Against Bigger Trucks. We had a meeting this morning with a number of law enforcement officials from across the country, as well as AAA representatives and others who are concerned about this issue. But we are going to fight. This is serious. This is a radical change in the law, and we're going to fight this.
Have you made overtures to Secretary LaHood?
I have talked to Secretary LaHood. I'm going to talk to him again, but I think it's time for the administration to come out foursquare and out loud against this effort for bigger and heavier trucks on the road.
John, would you like to comment? Yesterday, safety groups and the victim survivors met with Secretary LaHood on a whole range of truck safety initiatives, and I believe that this was discussed.
Yesterday, about 12 of us met with Secretary LaHood. He was very welcoming of us, and he listened intently to all of our complaints about what we are concerned about with truck safety. But the most interesting thing to me was that he has invited us back to talk to him about this legislation, because I think he's deeply concerned about it. And so he has got a very open and welcoming ear for the people who have suffered these terrible crashes and loss of family and friends. And I believe that they're going to take a really serious look at this legislation. I do not think anything in this bill is on their agenda.
Do you get the sense that Secretary LaHood will ultimately come out against this? Did he give any indication yesterday?
Well, he can't, because he has to go through OMB and all of the bureaucracy, you know, in the government. But I certainly think his own personal view is great skepticism about this, yes.
Are you asking the administration to recommend a veto or a White House or a veto?
Absolutely, absolutely.
What do you think your prospects for the?
Well, I think what they'll try to do first, and I hope will successfully do with Mr. McGovern and Congressman McGovern and Senator Lautenberg and others, is to strip these provisions from the bill and say that that this is no place a highway bill that should be a safety bill. It shouldn't be an anti-safety bill, and this is an anti-safety bill. And I think that they will definitely go there first. And then they'll have to see how far they get. The ultimate pressure, obviously, is to veto the bill. I don't know that it's even going to pass the Senate, so they may not have to get that far.
That was my second question, which was looking at the whole bill, not just the truck safety provisions. What do you think the prospects of getting a transportation bill through the House, through the Congress this year?
The Secretary of Transportation has already commented on that, so I'm not revealing anything he hasn't already said. He says that it's highly unlikely that it's going to pass, so that this legislation is going to pass.
Do you agree with it?
I do, and obviously we want to have a highway bill. We've worked on many highway bills, but if it's going to be an anti-safety highway bill, then we oppose it, and we will do everything we can to kill it.
Do you think the whole highway bill will pass without this, or are you saying this will kill the highway bill?
One way or the other is fine with me. That it passes without it, or that it kills the whole bill. That's our position. Yeah.
John, this is for you or Trooper Bracken. What about the states that have had these triple trailers on the roads all along? There's 16 states where they were grandfathered in at ICE.
Right.
And so there is presumably some track record of these vehicles in these states. What does the data say about, you know, what the actual safety record is in those states?
Well, our understanding, and I haven't looked at recent data or seen any published studies, but at the time that this issue first came up, we looked at every piece of data we could find on the experience in those states. And one issue is that you have to have highly experienced drivers that are trained specifically in driving these trucks, and that's not always happening. And when it doesn't happen, then the dangers are vastly increased. Secondly, I think that the trooper said the real issue is that it's very difficult to control these trucks, particularly in bad weather, when there's high winds, and even just in everyday traffic, because the third trailer wiggles all over the place and can take out cars as it's going down the highway. And so we believe that these trucks are like trains on the highway. They're rolling time bombs. We don't need them. And particularly in states which have bad weather, let's say the New England states, for example, and particularly states that have, and the Middle West, and then states that have smaller highways. So our view is that from everything that I've read and seen, that these are much less safe, and we see no reason to have them. And particularly because there's a freeze on them, and you can't have them in every state. It makes it complicated to use them. So they have to take off one of the trailers when they, or two of the trailers, depending on what they're doing, or switch trailers as they go across the country. But maybe why don't you come up here and talk?
I'll apologize, but my understanding is that most of the states that do allow the triple trailers currently only allow them on certain roadways. Also, my understanding is that the pieces in this provision would now open those states up so that these same triple trailers would now be allowed statewide. I think from a law enforcement perspective, now I'm speaking for troopers in the states that allow them, I think that the limited access to these triple trailers is one issue. When you open up, as part of this bill, the ability to drive these triple trailers, trucks of that length, statewide on any highway, it certainly is going to create a much more dangerous environment, and the statistics, I think, would bear that out.
I just want to add that there's a terrific video that there's a link to it on the Truck Safety Coalition website, www.trucksafety.org. It was put together by the Coalition Against Bigger Trucks, and it just shows the operational challenges of handling triple trailers. And as everybody has said, the states that currently have them are western states, and to mix these truck trains, as we call them, with traffic is just a crash waiting to happen. And Ed Slattery, unfortunately, isn't here, but could really speak to that, Jeff, about the kind of devastation that his family suffered as a result of the crash involving a triple trailer truck. Any other questions? Our speakers will be available for individual interviews if any of you would like to speak with them, and thank you very much for attending today's press event.
That's okay, mate. Help out with me.